Groups across the country are filing legal challenges to Donald Trump's re-election campaign, and they're arguing that the 14th Amendment prevents Trump from being legally able to hold office. But can those arguments hold up in court? Well, we're going to have to answer that question. Go ahead, pick it up, and this is a loser. It's a loser.
Yeah, look, I mean, this is something I've done so many segments on this, and I'll say what I've always said. Listen, do I think that Donald Trump engaged, and spurred these people on January 6th? I absolutely believe that.
I think he did too.
Now, could I prove that in court? Well, I'm not a lawyer, so I wouldn't have the chance, but I couldn't prove it in court. And the reason for that is because there are so many different things with the events of January 6th, not just the 14th Amendment. There's so many different things that are open to interpretation. Was it an insurrection or was it a riot? Was it a protest? Because if it's a riot or a protest, 14th Amendment automatically doesn't apply. You're done. Case over. So because there's no official declaration, because none of the people have been charged with insurrection, you can't even base it off, okay, well, we charged 8 people with insurrection.
Right.
There's no legal basis almost for this to even be there.
Here's where it really, this is the bell ringer, okay? Oh, first of all, you and I are supposed to yell at each other according to the MAGA Dems. Farron, why don't you yell at Mike when he says something about Biden or says something about, and I'm supposed to yell at you when we disagree. We don't yell, we have a conversation just like the one we're having right now. So we've known each other for 21 years? Yeah. We've been doing this for 21 years, so we're not children and we're not going to yell and scream at each other when we disagree. I love that about doing this show. But here's the problem. You've got the National Socialist Party of America versus the Village of Skokie. Now, that is the premier, just do a search, that is the premier U.S. Supreme Court case that says that even if he did some of this, so what? Okay? That's a case, Farron, where the Supreme Court had to make a decision. Do we allow Nazis, I mean hundreds of Nazis, to walk through an area of Skokie, the village of Skokie, where you have most of the people in there had been Holocaust survivors. The number of Jewish Holocaust survivors was over the top. But the Supreme Court says we're still going to allow them to walk through with bullhorns, talking about Jews, with Nazi flags, with doing what they want to do. That case kills the possibility of anything happening here where it comes to inciting a riot. And I got to tell you something, I'm convinced that's what he wanted to do. I mean, I don't have any doubt. Yeah. But you've got a First Amendment issue, you've got precedent, you've got so much precedent. The National Socialist Party of America versus Village of Skokie is just overwhelming. I mean, just read it and you go, this is like the very edge of saying, yeah, you can do what you want to do.
Well, and I'm sure there's going to be people that say, yeah, okay, y'all are talking about the Capitol riot, but what about his attempts to overturn the election results? Okay, we'll address that right now too. Does that rise to the level of an insurrection? Well, who was the government of that day? That was him. Was he launching an insurrection against himself?
That's right.
No, he's launching an insurrection, according to this lawsuit, against, at that point, a hypothetical.
Yeah.
Something that had not yet happened. So you can't, and again, I don't want this guy to ever be in the office ever again.
I don't either, Barry. Unlike every time we say anything that says, hey, think about this other side, it's like, oh my God, you let Pap say that and didn't respond. Hell no. We have to talk intelligently. We have to be grown-ups as we talk about stuff like this. Yeah. And I'm just telling you, that Skokie case kills the possibilities here, destroys the possibilities. Now, people aren't going to like that, but that's just the truth.
Well, and look, we're not here to always make you feel warm and fuzzy.
No, hell,
but I don't want y'all getting your hopes up thinking that, hey, we're going to block him from the ballot.
You're not. Care less about making people feel warm and fuzzy. That's not what we do here. We're supposed to deliver our opinions about the news, and that's what we do. And without yelling at each other, without, hey, let's arm wrestle, Farron. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I mean, you want to keep the guy out of office, show up and vote against him next November.
Exactly.
That's the way to do it.
Exactly. Farron, thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
That's all for this week, but all these segments will be available throughout next week, and make sure you follow us on Twitter at America's Lawyer. I'm Mike Papantonio, and this has been America's Lawyer, where we tell you the stories that corporate America won't tell you, because their advertisers don't allow them to tell you, because they're going to lose money if they do, or their political connections don't allow for it. They're either too Democrat or they're too Republican, so they don't tell the story. We see that constantly. But you know what? We'll always tell you the story, whether you want to hear it or not. See you next time.